have to thank Sir Elton for that very eloquent and very complimentary and deeply profane speech. I just really, he's completely, I'll go along the way he started. He's completely f***ed it up for me now because he's just made a list of all the people I was going to mention. But he did make a mention of Mimar and Pa, and I do want to thank them for teaching me to listen and making me curious. I also want to thank Jill Taylor and Lou Difford for their care and advice and friendship, and all the people at my office by 11. I particularly want to thank Paddy Callahan, Robbie McLeod, and Milo Lewis, and everybody in our crew over the years, everybody that's been in our crew that's actually got us to the gigs and sometimes propped us up at the microphone long enough to play a set. We want to send out a little personal note. I just want to send out lots of love to Flaky and Viv, who are not here tonight. But I want to thank my agent, Marsha Velasic, my agent of 25 years, for her love and dedication and tenacity, which allowed us to keep on playing the music after the record company had lost interest, which was fairly regularly. And a gentleman who's going to be on it a little bit later, I want to thank Mo Lenny and Stephen for letting me make some bold records in the last days before the corporate radios came and f***ed up the record industry completely, you know. Finally, I'd like to thank Chris Roberts of Universal Classics, because if it wasn't for his ideas, I probably wouldn't be making records at all right now. Obviously, there are the producers that we work with. Elton mentioned Nick Lowe, the first man that I ever knew that was in a band. And I have absolutely no idea why Nick is not standing up here with us, picking up one of these. He definitely should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There are some people without whose example I wouldn't be writing or singing, and if you'll bear with me just a second, feel free to cheer if you hear any names you love. But these are the people that mean a lot to me. Franz Schubert, Lennon and McCartney, Rodgers and Hart, Strummer and Jones, Difford and Tilbrook, Holland Dozier Holland, Randy Newman, Brian Wilson, Dusty Springfield, Graham Parsons, Georgie Fame, Curtis Mayfield, Dan Penn, Charles Mingus, Tom Waits, Frank Sinatra, George Jones, David Ackles, Sonny Boy Williamson, Van Morrison, Rick Danko, and most of all, Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell. Obviously, you can't really imagine when you listen to the radio, and my dad was bringing home stacks of records when I was 9 years old, that one day I'd be writing songs with Paul McCartney or Burt Bacharach. But the other people that he mentioned that probably lie outside a lot of people's definition of rock and roll: Anne-Sophie Van Otter, the Brodsky Quartet, Roy Nathanson, the Fairfield Four, Chet Baker. These people, they taught me a tremendous amount, but it's the musicians that I've worked with, and I've had the real great pleasure and privilege to work with a number of bands that are not the Attractions, the Confederates, the Rude Five, and the Imposters. But the band that really deserves the credit for starting the whole thing going are two members of the Imposters who are also members of the Attractions. Pete Thomas, who I actually believe is the greatest rock drummer in the world, and it was with the money of a major record company that we managed to get him back from California to play on my second album. So we've been swindling the business all this time, and they still haven't found out. Steve Naive. Steve Naive was, I think, 19 years old when we kidnapped him from the Royal Academy, and I don't know whether he was destined for the concert platform playing classical music, but he's brought every kind of artistry to the songs that I've written, whether it be rock and roll or ballads, and we've also toured together, and it's a tremendous joy to play with him anytime, and he's a wonderful composer in his own right. And last of all, Bruce, who played the great bass lines on all of the records of the Attractions. it's no big secret that we haven't always got along, but I've got to say that seeing Luce and Joe Strummer's daughters down there makes me realise that this is not the place for airing like petty grievances and things that are obscure to all of you. Really want to say I miss Joe very much, and he was a great, great man. Ladies and gentlemen, the best band in the world, The Attractions.